today I'm going to show you how to upload a video on YouTube step by step, whether it's your very first video or you're just struggling to upload a video in general. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to our YouTube studio. So right up here, you're going to click on your little icon and then you're going to click on YouTube Studio down over here. Now in here, there's two places where you could upload your video. Number one is of course hitting the upload video right here. But let's say you have uploaded a video in the past, this won't show up. So what you're going to do is on the top right hand side, you're going to click on create and then upload videos. Now in here, you could either click on select file or click on the folder itself and drag and drop. Now before you upload your video, there's a common mistake that most people do. It is that they don't change their file name, meaning they just keep it as like final number 1, final version number 2, whatever it may be. But instead you want to name your file name to have SEO, search engine optimized friendly keywords. I'm going to show you here real quick on rank math. So most people, what they're going to do is they're just going to name the file name something like this, right? But this does not help the search engines. Therefore, it's best to change it to help the search engine. Meaning, if let's say you're posting a video about, strawberry ice cream, well, you want to change the name to strawberry ice cream. So in my case, I'm going to change my file name to how to upload a YouTube video. In this case, it's going to be the last video that we created. So it'd be how to start a YouTube channel for beginners. And I like to include the name of my channel. So file name. So let's go over here. Let's drag and drop the video. And you will see where that shows up in just a second. Right over here, it's going to show up as the file name and it will automatically be as your title, but we don't want that as a title right now. And while your video is being processed, so at the bottom over here, it's still uploading, we are going to start setting up the title, the descriptions, the thumbnails, and everything in between. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Now, keep in mind that right now, I'm assuming that you already have your title in hand. And in later videos, I'm going to do a deep dive to how to generate and create great titles for both search and browse, meaning the homepage. But for now, let's just put the title that you've created for this video. Just a quick tip, try to keep it under 55, 60 characters so it doesn't get cut off on certain apps and devices, and also it doesn't overwhelm people because nowadays everybody gets overwhelmed really quickly, especially with a lot of text. So I'm going to go ahead and put my title that I've created for this video right over here. My title is how to create a YouTube channel for beginners. Again, under 55 characters, which is really good. It's going to be able to show up on every device and people are really going to be able to understand it really quickly, especially with the thumbnail that I'm going to show you in just a second. Now the description. Most people don't put anything in their description. And actually we have a student of mine that has over 500,000 views on his video with nothing in his description, which is completely fine. But I like to go evergreen. I like to make sure that we're ranking these videos for a long time because his video did eventually flatten out. So in order to do that, we are going to set up our description with SEO keywords, meaning search engine optimized keywords. The first liner is one of the most important lines that you're going to use because that actually ranks on YouTube as almost like a second title. So let's say we go to YouTube over here and I'm going to show you a perfect example of my own channel. So let's say how to increase your RPM on YouTube. Spelled increase. That's a great tip for later on. So let's say I go over here and I click on shorts because that was a short video I created. If you notice that first liner shows up and these keywords are bolded out, how to increase your RPM on YouTube or YouTube revenue. Right here, my video is ranking first and it's still getting views each and every single day. This is very important for your SEO. Now there are a few different ways to set up your first liner. Number one is using the YouTube dropdown. So over here, let's say I would write how to create a YouTube channel. It says 2024 and earn money, account, channel on iPad, YouTube video, and so on and so forth. So in this case, what I'm most likely going to do is how to create a YouTube channel and earn money. That one seems like it's super highly ranked. So first liner, how to create a YouTube channel and earn money. Just make sure that your first liner is relevant to your video and it's not putting in keywords that don't have anything to do with your video. It truly helps the person create the YouTube channel and earn money. Now, of course, if somebody's creating a channel, their goal is to earn money. So this works out pretty well. And then what you could use also is, of course, VidIq. So let's say we hop into VidIq. Let me switch this real quick. So VidIq, if I put in YouTube, here I have how to create a YouTube channel, how to start a YouTube channel, how to create a YouTube channel without the A, how to create a YouTube channel. And look at this. This alone has over 600,000 searches. So if I use that right there, that's also going to help. So how to create and start. That's what I'm going to go back and do. So let's go back over here to the channel. And what we're going to do is in the first liner, I'm going to write how to create and start a YouTube channel and earn money. So now anyone who's searching how to create a YouTube channel, how to start a YouTube channel, how to start a YouTube channel and earn money, and so on and so forth, they're going to find my video, most likely. Now, right after my first liner, what I like to do is I like to put the main link that I want people to click. And if there's any resources that I mentioned in the video, I'm also going to add those as well. So the first link that I would like to add is, of course, my Skool community, because I'd love for people to join it and for people to learn and grow within that community. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that and I'm going to paste it inside of the second liner right over here. And then if there's any other resources, I'm going to add them over here. For now, I'm just going to keep it blank for this video's sake, but I do have resources that I will add for this video. Then after that, I want to create the SEO keywords that we're going to use inside the description. So that's whenever we head over to ChatGPT and we give it this prompt over here. We're going to say, I need a YouTube description with other words using these keywords. How to start. Make sure to repeat these keywords at least 3 times in the description. Because when you have it, better than perfect. So what I'll do is I'll take this and I will copy and paste it into my description. Now, again, I don't like this exact thing, so I will change it up. So give me a second. I'm going to go change it up and I'll be right back. All right, so this is what I changed it up to. And what I did here is I repeated again multiple times. So how to start and create a channel, how to start and create a channel, YouTube channel, and then again, one more time right over here. Now you could add it more than 3 times, but I think 3 times is more than enough. And you don't want to spam it so that way it confuses the algorithm. Now under the description, you could also put different links. So in this case, I'm going to put a few different links right over here. So I'm going to remove my Patreon. I'm just going to keep my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok just in case people want to contact me. Because, you know, through YouTube, people can't really DM you, but with these different platforms, they can. So depending on which ones they use, you might want to put something so they could contact you or reach out to you in any way that you want. And then after that, I want to add the timestamps. So in this case, usually the timestamps, we start with 0000, and then you write whatever your intro is. Don't just write intro because people will skip through that. So what I like to do is I like to use things like, for example, how to start, right? And then your second timestamp has to be at least 10 seconds or longer. In this case, it's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put all these timestamps and I'll be back in just a second. All right, so I have set up all the chapters for this video. Now, the way the timestamps work is you start with 00, they have to be 10 seconds apart. And then every next chapter starts at the end time here. So let's say here's from 35 seconds, so 305, 305 to 5, and so on and so forth. So that's it for the timestamps. Next up is we want to use hashtags. So I like to use up to 3 hashtags, and I like to repeat these hashtags at least for the next 20 videos. So in this case, it'll be YouTube coach. So here you only have, 1.4K video. So I could literally take over this whole hashtag. And by take over, I'm gonna show you what that means in just a second. Then I'm gonna say like YouTube, maybe tips. That has a little bit more, but it's not bad. Maybe YouTube tutorial. I like that more. It has less videos, so I have more chances of actually ranking on that. And then finally, I won't use my name ever. I won't use like 2 chapters ahead, because let's say I did use that. It doesn't even show up. No one's ever going to click that. So what you want to do is you want to use things that people are actually using, hashtags that people are actually using. So let's say YouTube coaching, no, YouTube tips and tricks. That could work. Or YouTube tips and tricks, again, 27,000. I'm going to use this, especially because I'm a new channel. Let me show you what that is real quick. So let's say I go over here and I write hashtag YouTube coach, right? There's a hashtag section where people can click on. And if you are a person that is using these hashtags often, like for example, Danny J is doing a great example. She's popping up all over. Hey, and I have a video over here, and I have a video over here as well for myself, and another video over here. So because she is taking over the whole page, odds are you're going to watch her videos if you do click on that hashtag. But let's say I do YouTube tips, right? You will see that it's all over the place. You're going to have a lot of different people on here. So Danny is also doing a great job at this, but like Nate Black, Think Media, Dan the Creator, it's kind of like all over, but it's kind of harder to rank over here because these big dogs are already ranking here. So Dan the Creator has over 100K subs, Marcus is over, I think, 1 million subs. VidIq has over 1 million subs, Think Media has over 1 million subs. So it's a bit harder to compete with these guys. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is a bit harder. So what I do recommend doing is using at first lower quantity of hashtags, meaning like how many people have used it in their videos, and using that for at least 20 videos. So you do what Danny's doing here, is taking over the entire hashtag page. All right, so I'm going to use these 3 for now for this video, and then we are done with the description. Next up is the thumbnail. So thumbnail is very similar to the file name for the video. So you want to use the same exact thing. Now for thumbnails, definitely you want to split test, but in this case, I'm going to show you just one thumbnail, but I like to split test. In this specific scenario, I have 5 thumbnails that I am going to be split testing. And we're going to start with this one right over here, channel setup guide for beginners. You could use the split tester for YouTube. I personally don't like it because it only shows you the retention rate, which to me is not the best, because let's say you have a 10% click-through rate. I'm gonna pop up a little bit of math in here. Say you have a 10% click-through rate, right? And then that video has a 4-minute retention rate, meaning people watch on average 4 minutes of that video, and it gets 100,000 impressions. That's 4,000 minutes. That's about 665 watch hours, which is a lot. But let's say the other thumbnail has a 6% click-through rate with a 5-minute watch time. YouTube is actually going to pick the 5-minute watch time and tell you it's a better thumbnail than the 4-minute one. But it does only have a 6% click-through rate, which is, at that point, if you have the same 100,000 impressions, that's only 30,000 minutes, which is 500 hours of watch time, which is 165 less hours, which is a lot of hours, right? So I like to use thumbnail tester, which again, in the future videos, I'm going to show you how I use it. But for now, if you do want to check it out, I'd love to a link down below, and you can go ahead and click on it and figure it out yourself for now. But I am going to dive deeper into it in later videos. So once that's set up, the next thing is playlists. Playlists are super underrated, very, very important. And especially if you watch the last video, I talk about the home page and turning it on. YouTube is getting more and more popular on TV. And if you don't have playlists, you are limiting yourself and not helping your viewers, and your viewers access all of your other videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a playlist, because this is our first video. Create playlist, new playlist, and we're going to call this YouTube tutorials. Spell that. Okay. And then that's it. Create. And then we'll check mark it. If you have more than one playlist that you want to create, that's fine. You could also create another one. Say it goes into 2 chapters ahead main. You know, that's all videos. Then you could go ahead and use that as well, and then do that. It's up to you. So in this case, I'm only going to do YouTube tutorial. So that's it for that. We're going to scroll down. And if you did set up in the last video, yes, made for kids or not made for kids, your videos generally, you don't want them made for kids for the most part. Unless, of course, you are creating content for kids, meaning there's kids that show up in the video, or it's catered just to children. But in this scenario, it is not made for kids. Paid promotion, this video does not have any sponsorships just yet, so I don't have to check this off. Over here, we have altered content. This is usually for dubbed videos that parody videos, right? So you might see like the presidents playing Minecraft or whatever it may be, right? So it makes a real person say or do something they didn't actually say or do. So you have to tell them that's happening, or alters real event footage. So let's say you say that there's a meteor hitting the world, right? And you use AI to show that, the Earth. Well, that's not true. And it could confuse people and screw people over, and scare people. So you do want to click on yes if that's the case. In this case, no, I don't have any AI, and we're going to keep going on. Automatic chapters, I am going to turn them off because I like to tell my viewer where things are going to happen. Now, YouTube can automatically do it. It doesn't always work, but I turn it off, and I like to put my own chapters in key moments. Featured places, I turn it off for now. I don't really need, I'm not at shops like restaurants or anything. I am in my own office. I don't need to do this. But if you are filming at a famous place and you're doing a video review about a famous restaurant, then you might want to keep this on. Next up is automatic concepts. So this is pretty much if there's a term in the video that doesn't make any sense, they might show up in the description explaining what the term is. I like to keep it on because I like to use anything that YouTube is experimenting with. This is just my thought process, is that if you use their new features, they want to test it out. They want more data on those new features. Therefore, they might push your video out to more people. This is just my theory. Use it as you please. Next up is the tags. Now, tags is something that is commonly misused because people just stuff this with keywords that don't really help viewers find your videos anymore, right? It literally says it. Otherwise, tags play a minimal role in finding your viewers find your videos, helping viewers find your videos. But what they are useful for is that if your content can be commonly misspelled, like the text, well, then you'd want to add it here. Meaning, so let's say, for example, I want to write how to create channel. Well, how can we misspell channel? Usually it's with one N instead of two N's, right? A lot of people might make that mistake. And sometimes it's accidental. So let's say I go on my phone and I write YouTube. Well, the B is very close to the V, right? Even on the computer. So let's say I write YouTube, right? So I could change these up and add whatever misspelling, commonly misspelled words that people might spell and still find my videos. To do that, you could use ChatGPT. And once you're in ChatGPT, what you could do is literally ask it, how can people misspell the word? And then just put in the word. So let's say channel. And I'll give you a few ways that people misspell it. So channel, double N, double, these are all different ways that people might misspell channel. So you just come back in here and then you recreate how to create a channel, a YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. And you'd fill this whole part up with misspelled keywords. You could still add, like I still like to add 2 chapters ahead, 2 chapters ahead, Samurai Itani, because sometimes whenever my students search for their own videos, they never show up. And I feel like this has a lot to do with it. Again, that's just my theory, but whenever we do add the tags here, it does show up. So I will definitely add those here. Give me a few seconds. I'm going to create the tags and we'll be right back because I do want to upload this video the right way. All right, so I added a few of them. So how to create a YT channel. So people might spell YT and not YouTube. How to start a YT channel. Now, I'm not saying don't use any keywords that might be relative to your channel, but I would more use the commonly misspelled ones over here and keep your description over here for the actual keywords that people might find you with. Next up, if you did watch again the last video, this should already be set up. So you have the English and then the caption certification. So if you don't have the transcript, YouTube will automatically transcribe and give you the closed captions, which is super helpful because a lot of people, first of all, may not understand what you're saying. Maybe it's your accent or maybe it's their accent that you're not familiar with your language, or, you know, sometimes they're just not as strong in the language. So turning on the closed captions really helps them better enjoy the video and understand more. Next up, we have the recording date and location. I don't touch that. You can add it if you'd like, but I don't really care for that. Here are the licenses. YouTube standard license is the most one that we're going to use. Now you could use Creative Commons. This just means that anyone can repost your video and it's okay. You won't get they can't get a copyright strike or anything. I like to keep it as YouTube license and decide if I want to give a copyright strike myself or not. Again, in future videos, we'll dive deeper into that. Then we have allow embedding. So embedding over here just simply means that if somebody's going to put it on their blog, on a website, or whatever it may be, that it allows it. If you uncheck this, they're not going to be allowed to it. Next up, we have publish to subscribers feed and notify subscribers. Say you are throwing a complete curveball to your subscribers and you're not posting a video that's technically relevant to what you usually post or something a little bit different, and you want to test it out without showing it to them because it does affect it. If you show it to them and no one clicks on it, it has a low click-through rate, or if they do watch it and it's not related to them, well, they're going to have a low retention rate. So let's say I'm throwing a complete curveball. I am going to uncheck this. In this case, I have 0 subs on this channel, and hopefully you subscribe, so please subscribe. By the way, if you still need help setting all this up and uploading your first video and just setting up your channel in general, I did create a Skool community where we have over 120 video lessons where I dive deep into each and every single topic, how to upload videos, the algorithm, how to create scripts, and all that good stuff. And it helps a lot of beginners out from the very start, and I wish I had this when I first started. The best part about this is you also have live coaching calls where I answer all my students' questions and any questions that they have about their channels and everything in between. So if you are interested, I left you a link down in the description below. Not twisting your arm or anything, but if you want, more guidance and more help, instead of buying a course that gets outdated really quickly, feel free to join this community and you'll have all the support you're looking for. All right, let's keep going. So next up is shorts remixing. So I like people to allow my video and audio remixing. I want people to honestly take my content and repost it everywhere. I don't mind. It's more exposure for me. Feel free to do so. My main focus is not to monetize through AdSense because I'm selling a product or service. So the more people that know about me, the better it is. I'm all for it. Category up next. Now, depending on what you do, let's say you put autos and cars because you're in that section, you won't get that drop down I just showed you. But if you do click on education because you are an educator, then what you do is you'd fill up the rest here. So type here, it's how to. I could explain here what the problems are of what, your problem is, or I wouldn't like to call it problem. I think challenges is a better word because everyone hates problems. Everyone loves challenges. But let's say I write here, I help my viewers set up their first channel, YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. And I could add the time codes, but I don't have to add them here. I added them all the way on top in the description. So that's completely fine. Academic system. It is no academic system. It's 2 chapters ahead academic system, actually. And then level, again, beginner for most part. Now, next up, you are going to turn on comments. It is very important to get more engagement, to build a relationship with your audience, and let them speak their mind. It's very, very important in my opinion. And then the restrictions, I put basic. So if there's anything that's bad or whatever it may be, you could, it gets held for review, and then based off if you want to accept it, you can, or if not, that's fine. Sort by top comment, I like that too, just because people can see what most people are talking about, what they could relate with. And I think that helps out the video. You could put newest, it's really up to you. My personal preference is by top. And I like to show how many people like this video. YouTube did remove how many people dislike, so why not just keep it on how many people like it? It encourages people. Then we're gonna click next. Here's adding subtitles. So again, if you have set up the caption section and you have your transcript, upload it. Makes your life easier, makes your audience's life easier. If you don't, that's completely fine. For cards, I'm gonna skip to cards real quick. I don't use them. I feel like that can deviate from the current video. People have a short attention span. If I tell them to look at the card up top, they click on it, boom, they're gone. So instead, I will just add an end screen. Now, end screens are super, super important, not only because it creates crazy binge sessions for your audience, but also it helps, create longer session times, which YouTube loves, and it will promote your channel a lot more and your videos to a lot more people. So it's very, very important. Now, this is your first video possibly, so you may not have any. If you click on add, you don't have a video, but let's say you did. What we'd want to do is you want to put a video and put on the top right. I personally like to remove the subscriber element, and I only give a choice for one thing for the person to watch. Now in this specific video, I did say, if you guys watched it, I pointed out a specific video right over here. So when that happens, I want that video to pop up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that at the same second that it does pop up, boom, like that. And I'm going to point at it. Now, later on, I'm going to choose a specific video that I did give a shout out to, but for now, I'm just going to put best for viewer because nothing is uploaded just yet. We're going to click save. Then we're going to click on next. This is the checks if there's any copyrights. If you have posted bad content, you may have to do different checks. This may not look the same for you, but here I have no copyrights found. I have no music. I have nothing. We're going to click on next. And now we have different choices. We have either private, which is only for you, and you could choose it later. I don't recommend doing that, but let's say you are going to do that. That's fine. Unlisted is if somebody has a direct link. So if you send them this link or you embed it on a website, you keep it unlisted. No one can find you on YouTube, but they could find you through other sites, or if you send it on WhatsApp or whatever it may be. Then we have public. Now public, you have two choices, either Premiere or right away just public. I personally don't like Premiere because it means that people cannot skip through your video. They have to watch it live as if they're watching inside a movie theater. Now with people's attention span and people, have a million things to do, personally, I don't like that, because they may not all want to watch it, the whole time with you without having to skip through anything. So often what they'll do is they'll click off of the video and they'll come back and watch it later, which hurts your retention rate. So I personally stay away from that. And finally, scheduled. Scheduled is a little golden nugget I'm going to share with you. So let's say I want to schedule it for today, and I want to schedule it for, let's say, 1 p.m. That's what most people are going to do, right? The thing is, if I do that, people are subscribed to so many different channels and they have so much that pops up on their feed exactly at 1 p.m. because that's when everyone posts, that personally, you may not get the notification. The viewers may not get your notifications to watch your video. So what I like to do is I like to do off time. So 1:15, 1:30, 1:45. So that way, if they do watch a video and they come back to their homepage and you're looking for something else, well, your video is going to pop up for them. And also the notifications on people's phones, although they roll out over the next few days, I highly recommend still doing it at an off time, because let's say the person subscribed to 10 different channels and they all posted at 1 p.m. Well, they might get only 2 or 3 notifications. But if you post it at 1:15 p.m., then odds are you will get a notification, or your viewers will get a notification to watch your videos right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and schedule that for, right now it is 12:20, so I'm going to put it at 12:30, so it goes out in 10 minutes. And I'm going to click schedule. Congratulations, you have uploaded your very first video. Now, as amazing as it is, odds are you may not get a lot of views. And that's because you need to understand how to actually create good titles and thumbnails that make people want to click. That's why I made this video right over here to share with you the tactics on how to create great titles and thumbnails to get the views that you deserve. I'll see you there.